Welcome to the Restitutor Orbis channel, and today we'll be looking at one of the primary framing devices for conceptualizing and understanding the grand theories. The time paradox. How can there be an old world and Tartaria? Looking at these photos, you see we have 4 photos of citywide destruction. You'd think they could be from the South during the United States Civil War, but all of these cities, these photos of destruction, transpired after the Civil War. You have Baltimore, Boston, Chicago, and even St. John's from Canada. The photos in the top 2, you have a comparison that we're going to be taking a closer look at. But I want you to think about this. I want you to think about these photos and what they represent, and just looking at them, what they mean to you. I've received a lot of feedback, people suggesting valid theories that the destruction could simply be grand fires that destroyed all the wood and all the buildings and caused this level of destruction. It's important that we keep our minds open to consider every fact and every alternative perspective, because alternative perspectives could be correct. That's actually how we came to come into these theories. One of the questions I often hear is, prove to me it is 1875 and not 2023. Prove to me it's whatever year and not what year it currently is. Prove to me you think it's 1600 or that we're missing 1,000 years, as other researchers suggest. In these pictures, we have a column from 113 AD, a column from 1895 AD, domed palace from 1886 AD, a domed building from 1751 AD. We've explored them in other videos, we know their names, but right now their names are irrelevant. I just want you to look at the structures, I want you to compare them. According to what we're told in history, which we know is completely correct, or we assume it to be, you have over 1,700 years between some of these structures. Does it really look like there's 1,700 years between these structures? That's a lot of time. But what exactly is time? Why is it important to ask questions about what we're told? Here you have the same photo, but different accounts of the same photo that you could read or see or even hear from someone else you talk to. Historical account 1, this is a dedication ceremony, an amazing building that took years to complete. Historical account 2, this is a dedication of a major monument across the road from this building, and everyone simply gathered on it. Or historical account 3, this is a large group of refugees from a war-torn land celebrating their arrival. Well, which one's correct? Could there be elements from all 3 that are correct? Could there be no correct elements from all 3 accounts? All of it could be true, none of it could be true. The reality is, if you don't ask questions, you believe what you're told, and that becomes your reality. We're told that historical account 2 is the correct one, but how could you possibly know unless you were there, or you know someone that was there? That photo was from the early 1920s in Kansas City in the United States, at the Kansas City Union Station. For all we know, any one of those accounts could have been correct. Unless you can actually find someone who was alive at the time and can remember being there. They say there was 100,000 people at that gathering for the dedication of the groundbreaking of the Liberty World War I monument, which was on the hillside across from Union Station. But nevertheless, it's very important to consider that. It's the same photo, but if I tell you or if I frame for you what's in that photo, how is that going to affect what you're thinking about it? And then every time you see that photo in the future, if what you heard from me or what you read from someone was the first thing, how many times is that going to remain your reality? Are you ever going to question it? Are you ever going to wonder about it? Or are you content to simply take it at face value? What year is it anyway? Well, it's 2023. Common Era, AD or AE or PE. Wait a minute. What all these acronyms mean. AD, AE, or PE. I'm getting to a point. There are 3 conclusions you have to believe for the year to be 2023. You must believe that every single year is recorded, and there's never a mistake between multiple societies, languages, cultures, and major catastrophic events for 2,000 years. Even the language is different over time. Case in point, Old English, Middle English, Modern English. Conclusion 2. You must believe that no one has ever had any interest in our perception of time or what happened and recorded it objectively. This includes empires and governments we are told are corrupt. Example, the Roman Empire. Prior to 1850, we have a lack of videos, pictures, recordings. We have no objective material. It's simply the recorded account. Conclusion 3. You must believe that every single society and culture that preceded ours recorded time in the exact same standard. A year has always been a year through multiple cultures, a season, a month, a month. What's a long year? A century, 1,000 years. Measure it once around the sun. Cycles never changed, yet we are concerned that the delicate balance can collapse immediately. We always talk about doing something that'll upset the delicate balance of our ecosystem, our climate. What am I saying with all this? You have to believe that no one's ever made a mistake. You have to believe that empires and governments that preceded us, societies that preceded us, objectively recorded every day as it happened. And then when you believe all that, you have to believe that there was never a simple mistake. That someone may have recorded a season in their language, but we interpret it as a year. So in other words, let's just say, for example, the Roman Empire recorded a season, but then because of translation issues, we recorded it as a year. Well, for every 1 year of theirs, we record 4 years. Well, what is going on? What are the answers? Why should I care? What can I do about it? Well, we're working on figuring out what's going on. And the answers are there. And you should care because it defines who you are. And what you can do about it is you can continue to ask questions and do not stop asking questions. I am fully prepared and I understand that I could be wrong about a lot of the theories that I'm presenting. And that's okay. I'm not going to get anywhere if I don't ask questions. None of us are going to get anywhere if we don't ask questions. And I respect feedback that contradicts my point of view. And just so long as it's respectfully thought out and stated. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. We seem to be in a society that has total fear and animosity towards those who disagree with us. And that aspect seems to be increasing over time. Not trying to control anyone, not trying to tell anyone how to live their lives, just asking that you continue to think and that you ask questions. Your perspectives may be different, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree, and it's okay to have objective conversation about it. Otherwise, you're never going to learn anything, and whatever you're told, that first perception that you have will be real. Whether it's a perception of what time is, or whether it's a perception of what happened with a particular historical event. And you're simply locked into it. And the one thing I can guarantee you is nothing will ever change. And that's why I end every presentation with this. Ask questions, explore yourself, explore your existence, make your own way, and you will restore the world. You want to think for yourself, you want to be your own person, and you want to come to your own conclusions. Those are the facts of existence. And that will always be true no matter what we discover as we continue. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe.